And it's week 28 of D&D chat from the Ellen Craft and Tap. The legend of Chris Whitwam is no longer available as he's in Austria, but he'll be back next week, fans, so just bear with us. But we're returning with much ado, the legend of Kai.
Yes, happy shopper in chief back. Been there, done there, bought the t-shirt and the other t-shirt and the quite expensive but very nice hoodie and 4 pairs of socks and 3 DVDs.
That's okay, that's a lot of buying.
Yeah, it was a good festival.
Yep. Okay, so we're in my world and we're trying to get hold of the Dagger of Uthang off the alleged Lich Toya. All we know about her so far is that her crystal head fits very neatly into one of these doors.
And she has silly shoes.
And she has bad shoes, bad learning shoes. So the party was presented with a little bit of a riddle, which I'll read out. I have many tongues, but cannot taste. By me, many things are turned to waste. Excellent group answers, one of which I did not expect, and that was
Plough.
plough.
Or a plough.
Respect to Alf for coming up for that. But I didn't know the turny bit of a plough is called a tongue.
Yeah,
But now you said it makes perfect sense. Anyway, the party has worked it out. It's fire.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that. You should have just left it for answers in the comments.
That was an excuse for comment engagement.
Yeah.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's fire.
But I was picking up the party because you worked it out and you're using the piece of kit that you've been given in the dungeon to sort it out.
Yeah.
You're using it wrong and badly, but you're using it. You've got a magical fire device that can highlight things. What we're doing it? Ramming it into the wall to see if we can put it out.
I wasn't trying to put it out, I was trying to light the other thing on fire.
Yes. Okay, so we have managed to solve that. We're going to leave, I think, the wooden doors untouched at this stage, even though it says...
Thieves beware.
But in what language does it say?
In Thieves' Cant.
Which is a brilliant intro to our topic of the evening, which is languages.
Mm-hmm.
Are languages important in D&D?
I don't think they've ever been implemented well, really.
No. I think there's a lot of role play you can, a lot of fun to be had from good language use.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, previously you've been a lot of campaigning in a dungeon run by thieves and no one could speak Thieves' Cant.
No.
And that led to quite a good series of information,
Yes.
quite a good set of challenges.
Yes.
Now, going around the table and seeing what languages people have, I think it helps develop character, helps develop background.
Like apparently our ranger speaks both Abyssal and Infernal.
Which is an interesting combo.
Sounds like he's a bit of a Volligan, if you ask me.
Absolutely. As you know, learning one, fair enough. Learning two, that seems to be a bit more than just an accident.
Yes.
So, let me know, anyone out there, please send us a comment. What languages your characters speak, what languages have they found useful, and what languages they've not found useful. I mean, Thieves' Cant is universally good around in my campaign because I love beloved the thieves. Can't tell you. I like the fact they've got their own language. And obviously here we've got a language you can't speak, but you've sort of worked it out through other means.
Yes. Context use. One of the things I think one of the reasons I think languages don't work well in D&D is that it's a binary. Either you speak this language or you don't. Whereas, obviously in real life it's a bit more granular, and there are quite a few interesting ways this is handled in other games. Like a game I play a lot is Talk Eternity, and the way it handles languages is you have a skill for each language, and you can have up to 3 points in this skill, and if you have 4 points in the skill, you are then completely fluent. But if less than that, whenever you try to speak it, you have to make a roll, and depending on how well you roll with that skill is how well you manage to interact with the language, which I think works quite well.
Well, that's good. I like that. That sounds interesting. Because obviously, with the impression I have, certainly if we went to an Elvish city and people couldn't speak much Elvish, but they were shouting like British tourists abroad, that would be quite funny.
Yes.
But yes, I think language can add a lot to a player's character. It's good for background, and it's something I think possibly is underused. But again, we've got almost 1,000 views every week. We've got 1,700 subscribers, so please let us know your thoughts. Other issues? Yeah.
Well, there were
Were there other issues? I can't remember. Other issues. Best number of players. Tonight we got 5 players, and I think that's an absolute perfect number.
Yes.
To play D&D, because everyone gets to do.
Yeah, everyone gets to do your thing. You don't need to mess around with. The DM doesn't have to do stuff to make sure everyone gets a turn. You can just let the table sort itself out.
Yeah. It has a natural harmony and balance. But next week we'll have a lot back. We don't know. So yeah, it comes and goes. But it is good to have a good steady core of players. And obviously, the best thing as a DM is getting the players to explain to the returning player what's happened, to see how much of what's important they bothered. They picked up, missed, completely sailed by, or got completely the wrong end of the stick. And that's quite entertaining. I certainly had a good 10 minutes today enjoying all that.
Or indeed to a new player, as when we had a new player join Chris's campaign, and I did basically the entire campaign over the course of a quarter of an hour at the start of the second.
Yes, that's
which
good.
was pretty good fun.
Yeah.
I got a good amount of DM points for that.
It is. Which we need to come on to DM points next week. So what do we think is through this door?
Treasure.
Big treasure.
Big treasure.
Big treasure, because there's been not that much treasure so far.
No.
A lot of death and fire.
There's a crystal skull and a neat torch. That's kind of treasure.
Yeah, so the torch is more than neat torch, but it is tremendously good, obviously.
But like there was tapestries on the other wall.
Yeah.
And they showed the wizards wearing lots of neat gear. So I assume once we kill this wizard, we're going to get a bunch of neat magic items off.
Oh!
That seems like an implicit promise based on the tapestry.
Based on tapestries, and we all know tapestries never lie.
And what kind of lich doesn't have good magic items? That's just like, why even bother being a lich if you don't have cool magic items?
Correct. Okay, well tune in next week for the old people, or watch next week for normal people, to see what sort of magic items the already fabled lich is going to have. And is it a lich? See you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.